nobody works in a factory by choice. Most of us are there. We fit into 3 categories. We either suck at pulling out, we're too ugly for the stripper pole, or like in the place I work at, we're just a bunch of perverts who need a job. It's weird to think, I've been there a little over 5 years now. That's almost as long as I was in high school. And the boss, we had a meeting the other day. He brought us all together, and he wanted to make sure that we wouldn't let any strangers in the building because he was afraid of workplace violence. And we told him, it's like, if there's any workplace violence, we're probably going to know who it is. But it ain't so bad. They let us bring in radios, and we get to crank the music up as loud as we want. I like to turn mine up just loud enough to where I can hear it, but just quiet enough to where when somebody eventually snaps, I can hear the gunshots and duck for cover. It's always awkward whenever I run into like old classmates, people who've moved on, become successful. It's always they want to catch up, so it's always a lot of stories like, well, I'm here to defend the business, and we're now going to open up multiple locations across the tri-state area. Or, well, I just finished my doctorate, and my wife says if we take another vacation to the Bahamas, we might as well just buy a permanent house there. What about you, Giles, old chap? What have you been up to? Oh, me? Well, every day is a waking nightmare. I've spent the last 5 years of my life cutting chunks of my soul out and handing it to a global corporation that just throws it on the ground and stomps it into dust. I spend every day being called Kyle, Charlie, or Josh because the boss can't be bothered to learn what my name actually is. And when I go home, I need to jump in the shower to make sure I'm clean so I don't poison my children on accident. Nothing smells good anymore. My breathing is restricted, and my loving wife is now allergic to my semen. I spend every night lying in bed, grinding my teeth, and every weekend staring disappointedly at my paycheck. Which reminds me, you're paying for drinks, right? So I got an online banking app on my phone, and it's great because I get a notification every hour telling me how horrible of money I am. I've also got a bad habit of enjoying food like a Catholic priest enjoys young boys. Excessively. And it's gotten me into trouble on occasion. Not that kind of trouble. Like, for example, going to the theme parks. We like to ride that Raging Rapids water ride, and normally a family can sit together. Well, they made me sit on the opposite side from my family. And it was to balance out the weight, they told me. So I'm sitting there and I'm staring at my wife and 3 loving children, and I realize that they're still going to need a fat kid to throw on that side to even think about balancing this out. Now the worst is when I accidentally traumatized my daughter. Not in the normal ways, like showing up for school to pick her up shirtless, or telling her friends that I'm her dad. No, we went to the theme park and we rode a ride, and I was excited, She said, "Daddy, I want to ride this ride." I said, "Oh, that's fantastic. We can make daddy-daughter memories, So we hop in, and I go to throw the belt on and start to tighten it up, and I realize that I'm 6'1", 350 pounds, and she is not. And that belt ain't even tight enough to be a suggestion at this point. And she knows it too, because she's curled up in the fetal position, just prepared to be flung into eternity. So I start to realize, hey, maybe we should get off. And about that time is when the old boy hits the go button, and I spend the longest 2 minutes of my life just death gripping a 4-year-old. But I thought, we're home free, we got off the ride. Okay, she doesn't know anything bad happened. She's just thinking it was a normal ride, hopefully. And we run in, we meet up with the wife, and the wife is excited. "You got her to ride that ride? I've been trying to get her to ride it all day." It's like, "Yeah, she rode it. She did a great job. She might ride it with you if you go." And so my wife asked her, she's like, honey, you want to ride that ride with me? No! And then she starts crying. And the theme park I was hoping to get on later that night closes after the season. So me and the missus, you know, you gotta have a little trauma in your life. And I'm not talking about like sewer clowns or an old man in a neighboring stall publicly masturbating. I'm talking about the stuff that only crippling poverty and double wide trailers can bring. Stuff like drinking from the garden hose that, without your knowledge, was shoved up a sewer line earlier that day to unclog it. Or waking up to high-pitched squealing in the middle of the night to find that a mouse had fallen into the vegetable oil. Then proceeding to fish out said mouse, put the cat back on the vegetable oil, and shove it back in the cupboard. So me and the missus, we have 3 kids, and it's getting a little scary to play that fertility Russian roulette game. So I'm thinking about getting snapped. There she is. The trouble with that is trying to find a doctor. I want to find a doctor who will handle my scrotum like it's a bag of plastic explosives in the middle of a daycare. But I don't think that a Google 5-star review will really have that kind of clout. Which, by the way, it was my birthday a few days ago, so if this doesn't go well, I get to experience the same crippling disappointment my parents felt 30 years ago. Thank you,
This is a good, you guys are doing great. Like, this is a good mix of people.